data stored on a blockchain is stored through a transaction, which is publicly available to everyone. Okay,
Ah,
and that NFT is also publicly available to anyone. Anybody can see it. Who is the owner of that NFT? Who has previously owned it, and all that stuff. मतलब बहुत लोग आए NFTs खरीदे, ट्रिपल ट्रिपल हो गया पैसा, मतलब एक दिन में शायद,
हाँ
और मतलब हो गया अमीर. लेकिन जब मार्केट क्रैश हुआ तो 99% ड्रॉप. मतलब समझो 10,000 रुपीज का NFT खरीदा, मार्केट क्रैश के बाद तो सिर्फ 1,000 रुपीज.
So hello everyone, we have Satyam Kulkarni, a Web3 developer at Wagpay. So, and he has an experience of around 1.5 years into Web3. So, since you work at Wagpay, what's the job of Wagpay? Like, let us start with that.
Yeah. So Wagpay is a cross-chain liquidity aggregator,
Hmm.
wherein we aggregate liquidity from various dexes and bridges and help you swap your tokens from one chain to another chain in just a single transaction. So you don't have to go to a dex, then a bridge, and then some random wrap tokens. You then have to swap that wrap tokens again. So you don't have to do all that process. We do all that for you in just a single transaction and give the required tokens on the destination chain. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what we do.
ओके सो ये सारी चीज जो तुमने बोला अभी वो सारी चीज तो लाइक वेब3 डेवलपर्स के लिए हो गई राइट बट अगर किसी 4 साल के बच्चे को समझाना ही है तो क्या समझाएंगे कि वाकपे क्या है
तो ऐसे समझो कि दो ब्लॉकचेन्स हैं, इथेरियम एंड पॉलीगॉन. ओके, दे आर टू कंप्लीट डिफरेंट इकोसिस्टम्स. You can't interact with them. You can't transfer tokens between two blockchains right now. So what we are doing is, so let's say you have a token on Ethereum. Okay, you have some money on Ethereum and you want to shift it to a Polygon. Now there is not just one token on both the chains. There are multiple tokens like USDC, USDT, DAI. Then there is Ethereum, Matic. There are all sorts of tokens. So what we help is, so let's say you have some random token on chain like Ethereum, and you want some another token on Polygon. So we help you in that transaction. So uh, we have compiled all the process in just a single transaction. So you need to do only one transaction on Ethereum, and you will get your token on Polygon directly.
मतलब वो
around
ब्रिज
2
का
to 3 minutes.
काम राइट लाइक वो
Yes.
जो पूरा प्रोसेस है वो बस एक ब्रिज में कन्वर्ट कर दिया एंड
Yes.
एक ब्रिज के थ्रू ओके साउंड्स गुड हाँ सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द टॉपिक व्हाट इज एनएफटी बट सिंस एनएफटी इज बेस्ड ऑन ब्लॉकचेन तो आई गेस हम लोग को ब्लॉकचेन से चालू करना चाहिए कि ब्लॉकचेन क्या है एक्सप्लेन कि ब्लॉकचेन क्या है
Yeah, that's awesome. Your analogy is right. Like NFTs are an application of blockchain. So NFTs are based out of blockchain. So if you don't understand blockchain, then like you can't understand NFTs.
NFT, yeah.
It's based off that. So let's start with blockchain. So uh, in a nutshell, blockchains are like supercomputers, a global computer. Like think of it like as a global computer where it is distributed across the globe. Okay, the computing power is distributed across the globe. Any small computer can join the network and execute some code or do some things and earn a fees. These nodes are called miners in Bitcoin or validators in some proof of stake blockchain. Okay, and the main job of validators or miners is to execute the transaction. So let's say I send you some money, and then the blockchain needs to update in its database that Satyam has sent some money to Aryan. Okay, so that updation is done by these nodes or miners or validators, and to keep them trustworthy, so they don't do wrong things. We are incentivizing them with crypto coins, cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin miners get BTC for every successful transaction, or Ethereum miners get ETH, Ethereum, for every successful transaction. So it's think of it like as a global computer distributed across the globe, wherein the small computers are getting rewards for like storing data, executing transactions, and all that stuff. And also, you can execute some code on those blockchains. Okay, so they provide you some virtual machines where you can execute any code. Like EVM, there are multiple blockchain environments like Wasm or EVM, wherein you can execute some code and do some things. So the whole DeFi or NFT ecosystem are based out of those code. So yeah, that's in a nutshell.
मतलब हाँ ओके समझा लाइक इट्स एक बड़ा कंप्यूटर बाकी छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर्स को रिवॉर्ड दे देता है एंड जो
ये
छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर
नहीं,
लाइक
नहीं वैसे नहीं, एक छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर्स रहते हैं,
हुँ,
वो कनेक्ट होते हैं एक साथ के
हाँ,
साथ बात करते हैं वो एक-दूसरे के साथ
हुँ,
कोऑपरेट करते हैं और फिर एक मतलब कि बाहर से आपको एक पूरा एक कंप्यूटर दिखता है, लेकिन
हाँ,
अगर अंदर झाँक के देखोगे तो वो
माइक्रो
सिर्फ
कंप्यूटर्स हैं,
यस।
ऐसा, ओके, ओके, फाइन। सो बेसिकली तूने बात की वैलिडेटर्स और माइनर्स की, राइट?
हुँ।
तो माइनर्स और वैलिडेटर्स अभी सबको नहीं समझ में आता ये चीज़, राइट? उसको अगर इज़िली ब्रेक डाउन कर सकते हैं।
या सो माइनर्स और वैलिडेटर्स का जो मेन जॉब है that is to provide computing power to blockchain so
हुँ,
they can execute some code and store some data. So, like miners or validators can store balances, then
हुँ,
transactions, then
हुँ,
all the stuff in a distributed manner. So,
हुँ,
every validator or miner in a network can have transaction list and
हुँ,
account balances. And that is what essentially called as ledger.
हुँ,
So, like it will store all the blocks data and all that stuff.
हुँ,
Now, why they are called miners and validators? Like
हुँ।
they do the same job. Then why
हाँ,
different names?
डिफरेंस क्या है मतलब दोनों के
Uh,
बीच
why different names? So, like there are consensus protocols in blockchains. So, what is a consensus protocol? So, there are various computers cooperating with each other in a
में?
blockchain. Correct? It's
हुँ,
not just a single computer.
हुँ,
So, that various computers don't know each other.
हुँ,
So, how they will cooperate? So
हाँ,
they will cooperate using a consensus algorithm.
हुँ,
Okay. So there are consensus algorithms like proof of work, proof of stake, and others, and also flavors of proof of stake and proof of work. Like
द
some
प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क एंड प्रूफ ऑफ स्टेक
are the main
ओके
consensus algorithms,
हुँ,
and then there are like spin-off versions of both of them, which
हुँ,
are used by others. But the main two are proof of stake and proof of work.
हुँ,
And like in proof of work, miners are there,
हुँ,
and
हुँ,
the same term in proof of stake is validator. So the main difference between proof of work and proof of stake is in proof of work, if you have to validate a transaction, okay, if you receive a transaction and you have to add it in the database of blockchain, then you need to first validate the transaction, correct?
हुँ,
That
ओके
is it right, and the balances are correct, or
हाँ,
the transaction type is correct, or the amount is not high or extremely low,
हुँ,
like stuff like that. So to validate the transaction, and the miners will solve complex math problems.
हुँ,
Okay, so
ओके
there are multiple nodes
हुँ,
or miners that compete with each other
हुँ,
and solve that
ओके
complex math problem.
हाँ,
And whoever solves it first
हुँ,
will receive the reward and will get the chance to add it in the database.
ओके मतलब ओके मैं रिलेट कर रहा हूँ इसको तो
Yes.
जो छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर्स होते हैं
Hmm.
उन्हें लाइक उनको तूने बोला कि माइनस जो सबसे पहले सॉल्व कर लेते हैं उनको रिवॉर्ड दिया जाता
Yes,
है राइट
correct,
तो
correct,
बेसिकली जो छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर्स काम कर रहे हैं और हम लोग तो वो छोटे-छोटे कंप्यूटर्स में से जो भी सबसे पहले कर लेते हैं उनको रिवॉर्ड मिल जाता है
correct,
ऐसा
correct.
ओके और क्या
So
इसको ही ब्लॉकचेन माइनिंग बोलते हैं
हाँ, बराबर.
ओह नाइस ओके
तो इसमें क्या होता है कि एक ही बंदा मतलब एक ही नोड
हाँ
लाइक बहुत सारे नोड्स एक ही प्रॉब्लम पे काम कर रहे हैं,
प्रॉब्लम पे
करेक्ट?
काम
एक
कर
ही
रहे
ट्रांजैक्शन
हैं
सॉल्व करने के लिए। तो उससे फिर जो बाकी जो हार गए बंदे 99% तो
हम्म
उनकी जो कंप्यूटेशनल पावर थी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो यूज़ किए थे उनने,
हम्म
वो कॉम्प्लेक्स मैथ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए, तो वो वेस्ट
हाँ
गया ना पूरा।
हाँ वेस्ट हो गया
क्योंकि वो एकदम बहुत हार्ड प्रॉब्लम रहता है, जिसके लिए
हम्म
बहुत जीपीयू पावर यूज़ करना पड़ता है।
हाँ
और अगर जीपीयू आ गया तो पावर बढ़ गई।
हम्म
तो इसकी वजह से बिटकॉइन अराउंड नीदरलैंड्स के अराउंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यूज़ करता है। जितना
ओह
एक नीदरलैंड्स यूज़ करता है ना
यूज करता
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी,
रहेगा ओके
उतना ही पूरा बिटकॉइन फार्मिंग यूज़ करता है। इसी की वजह से, क्योंकि 99% पावर वेस्ट जा रही है पूरी।
हम्म
तो
हाँ
उस पे काम करके लोगों ने प्रूफ ऑफ स्टेक कंसेंसस एल्गोरिथम बनाया।
हम्म
तो उसमें क्या होता है कि उसमें वैलिडेटर्स रहते हैं, ओके? जो कि कोई अमाउंट स्टेक करेंगे।
हम्म
स्टेक मतलब कि लॉक करेंगे
हाँ,
कि जिससे वो वैलिडेटर बन सकते हैं।
हम्म
ओके, सो लेट्स टेक फॉर एग्जांपल सोलाना।
हम्म
ओके, तो सोलाना पे क्या होता है कि तुमको जो उनके सोल टोकन्स है एसओएल, तो
हाँ
वो आपको लॉकअप करने पड़ते हैं ब्लॉकचेन पे। एक
हाँ
बार लॉक कर दिए तो आप उसको खर्च नहीं कर सकते, कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते।
हम्म
ओके, और वो आपने लॉक कर दिए एक अमाउंट के ऊपर,
हम्म
उनका एक बेस अमाउंट है, उसके ऊपर आप अगर आपने लॉक कर दिया तो यू बिकम अ वैलिडेटर।
हम्म
ओके, और फिर वो एक लीडर इस पे काम करता है कंसिस्टेंट एल्गोरिथम। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि जब भी कोई ट्रांज़ैक्शन एग्ज़ीक्यूट करना है या फिर कोई ब्लॉक प्रोड्यूस करना है,
हम्म
ओके, तो उस टाइम पे एक लीडर चुना जाता है बेस्ड ऑन हिज और हर स्टेक, कि जितना ज्यादा स्टेक उतना ज्यादा चांसेस कि वो इलेक्ट हो जाए लीडर बनने के लिए। और फिर वो लीडर क्या करता है, वो ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जीक्यूट करता है, हैशेस रेडी करता है, और फिर वो बाकी के वैलिडेटर्स को भेज देता है कि मैंने ये कैलकुलेट करके रखा है, आप इसको वेरीफाई करो। अगर आपको ये करेक्ट लगे तो आप वोट दे दो कि मेरे को करेक्ट लग रहा है, अगर आपको गलत लगे तो आप वोट दे दो कि मेरे को गलत लग रहा है। और अगर 2/3 वैलिडेटर्स ने कह दिया कि मेरे को बराबर लग रहा है, तो ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जीक्यूट हो
हो
जाता है।
जाएगा। ओके।
हाँ, तो उससे क्या होता है कि जैसे प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क में मैंने कंपटीशन लगाया सारे नोड्स में कि एक ही प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो। लेकिन
हाँ।
इसमें क्या होता है प्रूफ ऑफ स्टेक में कि आप आपका जितना स्टेक है, उसके ऊपर डिसाइड होता है कि कौन एग्जीक्यूट करेगा ट्रांज़ैक्शन।
हाँ,
तो
ओके।
उसकी वजह से एट अ टाइम सिर्फ सिंगल ही नोड एक ट्रांज़ैक्शन पे काम करता है। तो जिससे बहुत कंप्यूटेशन पावर बचती है, और अराउंड 99% प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क के कंपैरिजन में बचता है पावर। तो
मतलब ये एक सॉल्यूशन है उस चीज का, राइट?
yeah, so validators are just miners, but they don't have to compete with each other.
मतलब वैलिडेटर एडवांस वर्जन है माइनस का।
या सॉर्ट ऑफ, मतलब कि वैलिडेटर्स को डायरेक्ट मिल जाता है ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए, उनको किसी कंपटीशन में जाने की जरूरत नहीं, सिर्फ पैसा होना चाहिए। लेकिन माइनर्स को मतलब कंपटीशन करना पड़ता है
नाइस।
रिवॉर्ड्स के लिए।
सो बेसिकली हम लोग को आइडिया मिल गया कि वैलिडेटर्स और माइनर्स कैसे काम करते हैं। तो क्या ये चीज लिंक्ड है एनएफटी से, और एक्चुअल में एनएफटी क्या होता है?
Yeah, so this is linked, like NFTs and validators and miners are linked because ultimately, what are NFTs? Okay, so let's understand that first. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens, meaning NFTs cannot be changed. Like once you post an NFT on a blockchain, then you can't change that data in the future. Okay, and that is truly unique to you. Okay, let's say I have an board ape NFT. Okay, and you screenshot it. Let's say, okay, you screenshot it and you said that, like, I have my screenshot and you have your image, like, you have spent all this money, but I still have the image. What you will do? So I can, like, even if you have screenshotted it, you can't prove it that you own it. Correct? Like, I can be able to prove it. I will be able to prove it. How? So there are transactions in blockchains, as I said. Okay, every data stored on a blockchain is stored through a transaction, which is publicly available to everyone. Okay, and that NFT is also publicly available to anyone. Anybody can see it. Who is the owner of that NFT? Who has previously owned it, and all that stuff. Okay, so if I own a boarded NFT, I can prove it to you by showing you the blockchain's record that I own this NFT, and I can show you the transaction with which I bought the NFT, how much I paid for it, and like I can essentially prove you that I own the NFT.
So basically, if someone screenshots the NFT and if he tries to use it somewhere else, like he can use it maybe as a wallpaper, as his profile pic, he can, right? But he can't sell it, or
Yes,
he
correct.
can't own it.
Yes, so like I am the actual owner of that image. Okay, and I can get access to private parties if it's through NFT, or I can get access to multiple stuff if it's through NFTs.
Like
So let's say,
NFT comes with an advantage.
yeah. So let's say Bored Ape decided to host an yacht party in middle of Turkey, like ocean or something like that. So I can go there. I can show my NFT. I can prove that I actually own it. Okay, and I can get an entry pass. But you can't just show up and show your screenshot and say I own this NFT. I can go inside. You can't do that. Correct.
Yeah.
So that's the main that's the main point of NFTs, that you are able to prove some random data on a blockchain. You are able to prove that you own some random data on a blockchain using blockchain, and that data is essentially stored in validators and miners. So it's linked like that.
It's linked. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So in one sentence, NFTs are a mechanism for you to show that you own some random data using blockchain. That's what NFTs do.
Okay. NFT. Full form?
Non
Non-fungible tokens.
non-fungible token. Non-fungible means that there is only one owner, and it
No
can't
one else
be
can own
changed.
it.
Yeah, it's immutable. So,
Yeah. Nice. सो बेसिकली हम लोगों ने एनएफटी के सारे टेक्निकल टर्म्स कवर कर लिए, बट लोग वेब3 में आते हैं इसके लिए ताकि वो लोग अर्न कर सकते हैं, मतलब मेजोरिटी लोग, कि हम लोग कैसे एनएफटी पे, क्रिप्टो पे, सब पे पैसा ला के अर्न कर सकते हैं. तो हाउ कैन वन अर्न फ्रॉम एनएफटी?
Yeah, interesting question. So मतलब अभी जो 2021 में जो साइकिल हुआ, मतलब बुल साइकिल, बुल मार्केट जिसको बोलते हैं, तो दैट हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ एनएफटी. मतलब बहुत लोग आए, एनएफटी खरीदे, ट्रिपल हो गया पैसा, मतलब एक दिन में शायद. और मतलब हो गया अमीर. लेकिन जब मार्केट क्रैश हुआ तो 99% ड्रॉप. मतलब समझो 10,000 रुपीज पे एनएफटी खरीदा, मार्केट क्रैश के बाद तो सिर्फ 1,000 रुपीज रहेगा. तो मतलब बहुत ये हो गया. बट अभी एनएफटी से अर्न कैसे करें? ओके, so there are multiple ways to earn from an NFT. So first one is obviously selling. Like you will buy an NFT for a lower price and sell it for a higher price. Like that is obvious, and that is what most people do right now. Like buy NFTs at a lower price, hype the project up for some time, and then sell it for a higher price. Okay, that's the obvious choice for earning from NFTs. But now there are also some like multiple options for earning from NFTs. Like first one is lending and borrowing. So you can lend your NFTs to someone and get rent every day, every month, every 15 days, whatever duration you want. So let's say I have a CryptoPunk. CryptoPunk is a very special NFT which most of the people want to have, but like it's very late in the market right now and the price is very high. So let's say my NFT is around like 10 each. Price is around 10 each. So I can list it at around 0.1 each per day. Let's say. Okay, and you like as an individual or a wallet, you can borrow the NFT and pay me 0.1 each every day plus some deposit amount of around 11 to 12 each. And then you can use that NFT for let's say Airdrop, entry to some special event.
Airdrop? I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, so Airdrop is a term in NFT community, like the whole blockchain system, wherein instead of purchasing those tokens for NFTs, you directly get them in a wallet.
Okay.
So like there is some entity, let's say I am launching my own NFT. Okay, and you are a very renowned person in the NFT market. Everybody follows you. So I will just, and your wallet address is public. Okay, so I will just send you an NFT on your wallet address and claim that you bought it from me.
Okay. So I mean, I'm getting it for free.
Yeah,
something like
yeah, getting it for free. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, like it can be used for good marketing and also bad marketing. Yeah, like depends.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can borrow my NFT and I will be paid daily rent plus some deposit, which you will get back, and I can earn it from like this way. Then there is second one called staking. So there are so what does staking mean? As we discussed even in previous proof of stake consensus algorithm. So staking means locking up your assets in a contract.
Okay.
So and so what does NFT staking mean? Is you give your NFT to a smart contract, which then locks it up, meaning you can't access that NFT, sell it, transfer it. You can't do anything to retain. And for locking up that NFT, you get some reward. Okay, so there is this famous project on Solana called Dagon. God. So they have introduced their own staking algorithm, wherein you will stake your own Dagon NFT, and you will receive around some interest rate, monthly interest rate, and you will get sold tokens in your wallet, airdrop every month. So yeah, like these are the three primary ways which you can earn by NFTs, and there are like people are innovating on it and how you're gonna earn NFTs more and more, and you will most probably get some new ways of earning in the future. So watch out for this space. Yeah, keep yourself updated.
So my question is like, where can people go? Like, what website can people go to buy NFTs? What's the trusted website? If is there any? Like, I know OpenSeas. Like, what else do we have?
Yeah, so it totally depends on which blockchain you want to buy your NFT. So like I am a Solana NFT buyer. Like I buy Solana NFT. So I mostly go to magichidden.com, which is a Solana NFT marketplace. Then there is gaming NFT marketplace called Fractal. which is also based out of Solana. Then there are SolanaArt.io, and there are others also. And for Ethereum, there is like OpenSea for Ethereum and Polygon. And also OpenSea has also supported Solana right now, so that is there. Then there is Rarible. Rarible is also a fantastic price. And then there is LuxRare. So on Ethereum, my favorite is LuxRare because it's a complete decentralized NFT marketplace based out of smart contracts and not on auction or so like OpenSea is totally auction. It stores everything in their own database, and like they have their own smart contracts, but mostly they store things on their own database, which makes like it doesn't fit right in blockchain community. So LuxRare stores all the things in smart contracts, and that provides you a higher level of security than storing database. So my favorite in Ethereum is LuxRare, and for Solana I mostly use Magic Eden because like I like it and it's very easy to use.
So we'll be stating down the website key links in the description or in the comment section, so everyone can check out that. Okay. And also another question. Solana is a type of blockchain, right?
Yes, correct.
There are how many types of blockchain? Like, if you have any idea?
There are various blockchains. Like everybody is launching a blockchain.
Okay, Solana.
Like there is
so Solana is a type of blockchain. What's the joke?
Like there are people launching blockchain every week with a minister. So like there are hundreds of blockchains. So yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But mainstream are only
okay. And what does every blockchain has a different action, or like has some different task, or is it like every blockchain can a person run NFTs or crypto on every blockchain?
Yeah, most blockchains support NFTs. So it's interesting. So there are types of blockchains which don't support VM, virtual machines, so execute code. Okay, as Ethereum has EVM, which compiles, which runs Solidity code or Vapor. Solana has eBPF, which is based out of Wasm, which runs Rust code or any Wasm based code. Okay, and then Cardano, I don't know about Cardano, but Near runs code, then Harmony runs code. So there are these blockchains where we can run code, and then there are other blockchains like Bitcoin, where we cannot run higher level of code like NFTs and stuff. We can run basic level of code like this payment, but like not so. So because of that, blockchains which have execution environment like EVM, Wasm, eBPF, we can store NFTs on there, do multiple stuff, have DeFi, algorithms, all that stuff. But blockchains like Bitcoin, it's very hard to do that stuff.
So abhi blockchain ka concept I guess is clear with most of us, and NFT ka bhi we know how to spend NFT, how to earn from NFT, and how to get NFT. Yeah, so everyone watching like wants to know, can I make my own NFT and sell it, and can earn from it? Like बोलते हैं ना 21 दिन में पैसा डबल, वैसे something like that.
So before getting into how you can make an NFT, so let me clear one thing. So NFTs में पैसा डबल नहीं होता सर. ये main thing है. Like it's a pretty misconception between youth or like general people that with NFTs you can earn more and more money. But that's not true. Like NFTs are just a luck game, luck based. Either you found an NFT which goes like triples or doubles or 10x your money, but 90% of the NFTs are bullshit. Like they are worthless. Even you buy it for let's say 10, then also there is 90% chance that it will go to zero in the future. So like just don't get into NFTs to earn a kickback, but like get into the ownership environment. Okay, so what does NFT's main goal is to give the ownership of the data to the user or to us. Okay, so like a basic use case, a good use case of an NFT is Lens protocol. So all of us know that Facebook, then other social media like Twitter and stuff, they heavily track us. They get all of our data, they store it in their database in a machine learning algorithm out of it, and do like run ads, show us ads and stuff. So we have sell our data to basically to Facebook and stuff, and they have misused it, right?
Yeah.
So you can use NFTs to actually own your data and then build a social media out of these NFTs.
NFTs, okay.
And that's what Lens is doing. So if you follow me, okay, if your Lens profile follows my Lens profile, then you will receive an NFT that you follow this profile.
Okay.
So like you actually own that NFT, and you can say that I follow Satyam's Lens profile. Or if you post something, okay, if you post something on Lens protocol, then you will receive an NFT of that post.
Okay.
So that post is truly yours. And if you wish that you don't want to show it on a platform, then you will have the like total option of getting out of the platform.
Got it. So it's like since the NFT ownership is just with me, no one else can see that.
Everybody else can see that, but nobody can own that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I get it.
You have the total permission of whom you want to give that access.
Okay.
And now there are also NFTs which provide access-based thing. So let's say you own an NFT and you don't want to show it to anyone. You just want to show it to me. Then like right now there are also things like there are also like apps which can do that. And that's a major plus point that you own your own data and you can say that I don't want my data on your platform. You can pull out of it and you can revoke their access. So that's what NFTs enable us, and not just like making a feedback. NFTs are meant to be enable us into ownership economy, wherein you own your data, you own your digital stuff. So we have created a mechanism for owning physical stuff like buildings, like cycles, bikes. But currently we don't have a way to own digital stuff.
Digital stuff, yeah.
That's what NFT provides. That's what NFT does.
Yeah. It makes me think, okay, NFTs are kind of powerful when it comes to metaverse. If I think about metaverse, I still feel that metaverse is a bit far, but owning assets, it's like owning games before having a PS4, owning games before having a PS5 or something. Yeah. So,
like, I'm getting back to the question, like how NFTs can be made. So there are standards on various blockchains on how you can store data that represents an NFT. So in EVM chains, EVM is an execution environment, as I told you. Ethereum virtual machine. So those blockchains that run EVM, so they have their own standard called ERC 721 and ERC 1155. Okay. So these are the two standards with which you can store data on a blockchain, which represents an NFT. Then on Solana, you have Metaplex standard. And every other blockchain has their own standard, or indirectly use ERC 721 as their standard. And if you follow that standard, store that data on the blockchain, and then like you are good to go. Like your NFT will be listed on various marketplaces. You can sell it. You can do multiple stuff with it, or you can build your own. Like you can own assets basically using NFTs.
अगर हम सम अप करें कि हम लोग को अगर NFT से कैसे कमाने का है, तो बेसिकली वी नीड टू हैव द टोकन्स. मतलब अगर मेरे को समझो पॉलीगॉन में बाय करना है NFT या इथेरियम में बाय करना है, तो मेरे को वो खरीदना पड़ेगा. और ये खरीदेंगे कहाँ से?
There is Binance P2P, wherein you will give some money, they will give you crypto, and there are decentralized exchanges like Coinbase, CoinDC.
Okay. So you gather these tokens and फिर तुम ओपन चीज या अदर वेबसाइट जो हम नीचे दे रहे होंगे वहां जाके यू कैन बाय इट. एंड आफ्टर सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम जब तुम्हें लगा कि ओके तुम्हारी एनएफटी की वैल्यू ज्यादा है, या तो तुम उसको लेंड कर सकते हो, किसी को सेल कर सकते हो, और व्हाट एल्स कैन यू डू?
You can also stake it. Your NFT allows that.
तो हम लोग स्टेक भी कर सकते हैं. दैट्स द बेसिक प्रोसेस. ठीक है. Like if someone is just getting started, like NFT requires coding, right? So if someone is getting started, like what are the steps, if I want to make an NFT, so what are the steps? Like what should I go do first and what should I?
Yeah. So currently, if you want to just like mint an NFT and possibly own it, then you don't need to have a long knowledge of coding. Okay, there are no code tools which are able to do it. Like OpenSea has their own minting platform wherein you can go upload your image, video, any media format, mention the details of the NFT like name, description, and attributes and stuff, and then you can just click a button. It will mint that NFT to your wallet. You just need to pay some transaction fees. That's all. And if you want to learn coding, like coding NFTs, then you first need to know which blockchain you want to target. So let's say you want to target Solana, then you need to learn Rust plus Anchor, Rust language. If you want to target EVM blockchain like Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, so if you want to like get into EVM development like Ethereum, Polygon, then you need to learn Solidity language or Wi-Fi language. And yeah, every blockchain has their own type of language. So you need to learn that based on what you want to target.
Okay. So once we get to know about it, it's kind of easy, or is it hard to make a crypto?
It totally depends on like what's your private coding experience. Like if you are a good coder, then you may be able to learn it in hours. If you don't know how to code, then it like Solidity is very easy. You can learn it in 1 week to make NFTs. But if you want to go with Solana, Rust, and you don't know programming, then 1 month is also late for you.
Okay, interesting. तो यही पे खत्म करेंगे. सत्यम भाई, आपको कुछ ऐड करने का?
Yeah, don't treat NFTs as like a way to make quick buck. Think of NFTs like ownership mechanism. And yeah, like don't buy much NFTs, don't waste money. Don't fall for the trap.
मतलब basically 90% of the NFT काम नहीं करने वाले हैं.
Yes, तो उनको avoid करो और focus on the 10%. Yeah.
So stay safe. Own your assets. So yeah.
Own your data.
Own your data. Yeah. So इसी के साथ खत्म करते हैं. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, see ya. Have a great day. Keep learning. Bye.
Bye.